Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Elden Ring lore playthrough featuring crow genocide. As you can see by the amount of runes I have farmed up, I killed a lot of crows. Let's allocate those levels. Because I want to be able to wield every weapon and cast every spell and do all that stuff for the playthrough. That means we need all the levels. So many levels. All right. Wow, that only gets me to that? Jeez. Boy, oh boy. Getting to, like, level 400 is going to be a lot of dead crows. Anyway, to start us off, the very first thing we're going to do is head over to Liurnia and go take a chat with Celavis. I went out and grabbed a few more of the starlight shards that are out in the world. They're usually on, like, cliff tops next to astrolabes. In case you guys are wondering where to find them, I mean, that's where we found every single other one. There were, like, 3, maybe 4 that I had missed before that I went back and grabbed. Really, you don't need very many of them. You only need enough to complete Celavis's little quest line, which is like 3 or 4. But I went and grabbed them so that we can talk to Celavis and obtain another puppet, the Jarrite puppet.
You're proving to be quite the puppeteer. I've not had an apprentice for a very long time indeed. Begging for another lesson. That remains.
He has, Preceptor Celavis here has a scheme.
Perhaps you'll be interested in a little scheme of mine. It will produce the finest of puppets, which I aspire to cherish with these very hands. A ploy to fool even Lady Rani. How does that sound?
Keep talking.
I knew I had you pegged. You're just like me. Then I'd like you to procure something. A rather unique starlight shard that glistens with amber. With that, my special draft will gleam with nectar sweetness. And even a demigod would be slave to its charms.
So, reminder, what Preceptor Celavis does is he tricks unwitting people into drinking these potions that he creates, and it turns them into his puppets. He has a desire to turn Rani into, as he said, the finest of puppets. And in order to get the puppets in the first place, we needed to give him some starlight. So, what about this amber starlight is so special?
Procure it for me. The rather unique starlight shard that glistens with amber. With that, my special draft will gleam with nectar sweetness. And even a demigod would be slave to its charms.
Well, all right then, Celavis. We have a plan. So, before we get into procuring that, let me just say that the Amber Starlight is located up on the Altus Plateau. So, we're going to have to make our way up there before we complete the next step of Rani's questline, if we want to actually make sure that Celavis's questline gets completed. Because there is something that's going to happen during Rani's questline that will prevent you from being able to complete Celavis's questline. Whoops. Entering Upper Nokron? No, that's not the cutoff point. The cutoff point is giving Rani a special item. Technically, I could go to Nokron right now and then go do a bunch of stuff there. But I'm going to save that till after this and it'll be fine. So here's one of the things we left behind in Liurnia. This invisible little scarab that's having a good time, having a good time. Damn it. Might be easier to hit with the moon veil. Just to unsheath into it. Huh. That didn't work. We'll wait for it again. Any second now. There we go. Ash of War, the Hoarfrost Stomp. This used to be the most broken Ash of War in the game. Not even kidding. There it is. Hoarfrost Stomp. Stomp hard to spread a trail of freezing mist on the ground. The mist applies the frost status effect. Not only that, but the freezing mist on the ground deals damage. On Elden Ring's release, this was the most broken Ash of War, and you would just stomp the ground in order to kill bosses for speedruns. That's how good it was. It was the speedrun weapon. I say that about many Ashes of War? I have not said that about many Ashes of War. That is the only Ash of War I have said is the most broken, because it was the most broken. Oh, how about we go to the Grand Lift of Dectus? We actually have the Dectus medallion, so let's actually show the Grand Lift being used. Why not, right? Hoist the medallion. Behold. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to full screen this for you. Here you go. I gotta say, they probably could have come up with a slightly more easily crafted and practical elevator that doesn't involve moving all that. 'Cause that's quite a lot. And here we go, everyone. We have gotten past the lower lands of the lands between and made our way all the way to the Altus Plateau. And look, a friend.
I've been waiting for you. I knew you had the stuff of champions. I hereby invite you to the Volcano Manor. Take my hand and have audience with my mistress.
Not yet. Give me a sec. So, as you can see, there's some guys here that might take umbrage with us activating the Grand Lift of Dectus. there might be one or two things they have to say to us. It's hard to say, though. Hard to say. Let's just go around them. And there should be a site of grace right here. Perfect. But let's say you never found that Dectus medallion. Let's say you never figured out how to go there. Well, there is an alternate path, as was spoken about before. One of the Finger Maidens called it the Coward's Path, but if anything, it's a path that'll put some hair on your chest. And that is the path that is literally right next to the Grand Lift itself. Down below. Right down there. We gotta get down there. Let's see. Going from the church might actually be faster. Let's see. I don't think there's any items until we get all the way in. One thing that you'll find here are these things that like to spew poison gas out around them. They're not really all that dangerous. They're very, very slow moving, so they can't particularly chase you down or anything. You just kind of ignore them, let them do their thing. Here we have a golden seed. Smithing Stone 5, and, of course, a Site of Grace. Let's see, there should be a scarab somewhere close by, I think. Ah, there it is. Ow, bats. I will take a quick peek around the area just to be sure there isn't another item. There might be. But that might be the only one for us to grab. Looking like that was the only one for the area. It's dark.
Beep 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 Bigretto. La 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 love I.
Thank you for the follow, Homework Deluxe. Okay, yeah. Looks like that's the only other item for us to grab here. Is that Ash of War. So, This area here is essentially a mining operation that was being set up, as you can tell by the shack and the tools in the area that are set around. Wheelbarrows and shovels and stuff, pickaxes. And it extends all the way from the bottom down here up to the Altus Plateau, so all we have to do is climb. Simple. Of course, there are some creatures that have taken residence in the area since it's been abandoned for a while. Made it their own territory. Gonna be finding stuff like the bats earlier, and that little octopus. I don't know how the land octopuses are climbing, but apparently they can do that. And look, see? A glintstone miner. As I said, mining operations. Also, let me swap this to this for now. Who doesn't want free health? Look at that little bastard. Look at him. He thinks he's clever. Doesn't realize I have eyeballs too. Look at those little bastards. Look at them. They think they're clever. Eat rocks. Smithing stone 4s. So this is actually a pretty nice place to get a fair bit of good upgrade materials. Mid-level upgrade materials are very common here. Oh no, I'm poisoned. How awful. So you have plenty of opportunity. Uh-oh. Anyways, I was saying, you have plenty of opportunity to grab some, like, 4, 5, and 6 smithing stones. Let me just get rid of that poison. All you have to do is make sure that you grab the golden rocks in the walls when you see them. This is a pretty straightforward little dungeon, too. If I recall correctly, there's not a whole lot of secret pathways. I think there's maybe one little alternate route that you can take that'll take you somewhere a little different. But otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. Yummy. Free life. Yummy. Free life. Hello, Homework Deluxe. I haven't used the Moon Veil too much, so I'm using it right now, guys. Don't worry, it's not a common weapon for us to use, even if it would be insane for me to use it all the time. Mostly because I'm sure anyone that's ever played PvP has a little bit of PTSD from this weapon. Nice try. Can't pull the classic FromSoft technique of hide behind the corner. Dude, there's so much poison. Oh no, he's actually a bot in disguise. Damn. One of those follow bots. Oh, he leapt right into it. That was great. What do we got here? A rune arc. That's nice. Well, that guy gave us a smithing stone 4, and you can hear that there's a Crystal Scarab somewhere. Somber Smithing Stone 4, also nice. It's in this direction. Hey, look, there it is. Watch this. Somber Smithing Stone 4. I could have sworn there were traps set up in this tunnel. I guess not. That's why I smacked that Margit Shackle usage to pop any more of those poison traps, just so I didn't have to flame myself. Alright, we got a nice little safety grace there, some soft cotton. But most importantly is we're still going up. These are some really impressive mining situation that they set up here. The Academy of Rhea Lucaria, that is. Since this is all glintstone being mined, it's clearly their mining efforts that were made here. I gotta wonder, how come the bats don't attack like the Vulgar militiamen or anything? You'd think they would. Instead, they just leave them be. They just completely and totally ignore them as though they don't exist. Tink, tink. Okay, so we can go that way, but this is one of those alternate paths that I was talking about that you can take. Is you can jump yourself up here and over here and grab yourself another Somber Smithing Stone. A 3 this time. And I don't think we can get to anything else from here. But we'll just have to be on the lookout for more pathways like that, because there will be more. Why do I hear tink-tinking? Is it you down here? Why, yes, it is. Here's some FP. Thanks, brother. And we got a Somber Smithing Stone 4 here as well. Explosive Stone Clump. Hey, that's actually entirely new. Was that a material? Might have been. I don't know where it is, I'm sorry. Oh, here it is. It explodes when thrown together, inflicting fire damage. Miners employ these stones as tools for rock blasting, but have long forgotten how to craft them. See, they didn't have one of those old people that maintains the back end stay with them. They left the job at the mining site, and thus everyone that knew how to make that stuff is gone. It's like a job in the IT field. You gotta have at least one person that knows how to maintain that back end, or everything's gonna collapse. Golden Rune 5, Smithing Stone 4. Latin singing. Remember, anytime you hear Latin singing, it's one of those old women harpies. Every time. Do not give them time to fight back, because they are legit tough and dangerous. Where you at, Bat? Got him. What'd she drop? Golden Rune 6. More octopus. At least they have beautiful voices while they try and slaughter you in cold blood. Smithing Stone 4. Here we go. Let's make sure we go grab this item. That's hidden up here behind everything. Little out of the way. Somebody needs to call OSHA about the mining setup here. That can't be safe. Smithing Stone 3. Technically, I don't have to do anything about this land octopus if I don't want to, but I want to. Because, even further behind him, is the Serpent God's curved sword. Curved sword fashioned in the image of an ancient serpent deity, and the tool of a forgotten religion practiced on Mount Gelmir. Formerly used to offer up sacrifices, the sword restores HP upon slaying an enemy, which is actually pretty nice to have as a simple passive. It's not the strongest sword, but for just carving through enemies, getting some free HP every time you kill something's pretty sick. But what it really gives us is a little bit of info on Mount Gelmir before we go there, and the fact that they have a cult based around serpents, and they're worshipping some sort of serpent deity. Hi, Troyes. I'm glad you're enjoying the lore streams.
Thank you!
She didn't want her her concert interrupted. Eat rocks. Eat rocks. More rocks. Oh, she shouldn't have went flying. Ow. Here, have rocks. And she did. Rune Arc. Oh, dude, she jamming. She bobbing. Golden Rune 6. Smithing Stone 3. There we go. Lost Ashes of War. that one's a little bit easy to miss. Okay. Further up. Up we go. Boop-a-doop, 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 boop. Ba-ba-da, 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 ba. And another Lost Grace. We'll actually sit at this one. Because we've got this golden fog wall. And behind it, our boss is... Any second now. Behold, another magma worm. We found one of these before, if you recall. It likes to walk forward and spread lava everywhere. Or I guess magma was the proper term. Magma worm Makar here. Makar! It's on fire! Ow. I think this one also gives us a little bit of back info on the magma worms. And what they're about. He, breathed a bunch of magma on his weapon, so now it also does fire damage. Spin! I was late on my roll. Dude, why is it not rolling when I hit it? Am I, like, just barely off time every time? I can't be, right? I can't be that perfectly off time every time. That's not possible. I guess it is possible. I suck. Do you like how he became more dangerous the second I tried to walk away from him? He dead. We got the Magma Worm's Scale Sword and a Dragon Heart. And I do believe this is where we get some interesting little lore from that weapon. A curved greatsword wielded by magma worms. The shape resembles a dragon's jaw and is covered in hard scales. It's said these land-bound dragons were once human heroes who partook in dragon communion, a grave transgression for which they were cursed to crawl the earth upon their bellies, shadows of their former selves. Unique skill, Magma Guillotine. Grab the scale sword with both hands as a worm would hold it in its mouth and leap forward, smashing it into the ground and triggering a blast of magma. Follow up with an additional input to perform a chopping attack. And it looks like this. Interesting that the magma doesn't hurt us when we make it, but it does hurt us if someone else makes it. Gameplay. Gameplay magic. Anyway, back to what it says. This gives a bit of a sinister twist to the Dragon Communion that we learned that people of the royal capital started getting into when it was approved for draconic stuff to be integrated into the Golden Order. Is that apparently if you go too hard on the Dragon Communion stuff, then you can mutate into a draconic being yourself. Not quite a dragon, right? Like a dragon, at best. So anytime we find these magma worms, the reason that they have a proper name to them after their moniker of magma worm is because they all used to be a person at some point in time that was, you know, powerful enough to fell dragons or influential enough to get a hold of dragon hearts and partook of enough of them that they transformed from being a human into being these lesser draconic creatures. Turns out eating dragon hearts isn't the healthiest thing for you. It's also really surprising that despite that, Dragon Communion wasn't completely abolished by the Golden Order. And hey, look! The Altus Plateau, and if you take a look at how far away we are, we're actually just a little bit away from where we arrived prior. So we didn't go too far out of our way by going up that mining area. And we got another grace. As you can see, there are many abandoned and busted carriages here, because these are the same carriages, or at least the same design for carriages that we had seen in areas like Limgrave and Liurnia being hauled by trolls that held treasure and stuff. And more than likely, because of their size, they were used to haul either important objects or important people at some point in time. But things have clearly not gone well in the Altus Plateau over however many years it's been. And here we have an omen. Oof. Axe fight. His axe is stronger, but can I wield mine better? Oh, he brought a friend now. Also, let me do that. No charged R2 for me. So, interesting thing about the omens is that they can and will hit each other with their attacks. Commonly, even. They won't outright attack each other on purpose, but by accident, definitely. Darn. These guys can drop their axe, and it's a fairly good axe, too. One of the better axes in the game. I was hoping to get it, but oh well. Reminder for everyone, omens are considered essentially blasphemous creatures that the Golden Order has forced people to hunt down and carve all the horns off of. They even created an entire a sect of omen hunters to hunt down the ones that didn't have their horns chopped off and to either chop them off or kill them on sight, depending on whether the omen hunter wants to do that or not. And the tradition of doing it is started at as young an age as they can possibly do. So many, many children born as omens probably were killed in the process. Many, many. Flowers. Hello, friend. You're no friend, you're a perfumer. Die. Oh, we got a perfumer robe. Robe of an Erdtree capital perfumer. The thick front apron embroidered with a depiction of the Erdtree is proof of mastery of the apothecarial arts, and its weight symbolizes the onus of both pride and responsibility. Well, I wonder where the catacombs are. I'll never find them at this rate. Another perfumer. Kill it before it does explosive things at me. Perfumer's ruins. Hey guys, I'm a perfumer just like you. Look at me. Don't you see my outfit? Oh god. The Omen Killer. Remember, this is an Omen Killer. You can tell by the mask that he wears. Dude, this perfumer is buffing all these things. Rude. Look, he gave a bubble shield to the Omen Killer. Give me your ass. That's for murdering children, asshole. We got the Omen Killer's set. Take a look at that after this guy's gone. Okay, Omen Killer set. Oh god, I'm getting so many perfumer pieces. Let's see. There we go. Robe worn by the Omen Killers, Butchers of Twisted Conscience. Its thick apron is worn in remembrance of Rollo, the progenitor of the Omen Killers and a perfumer of antiquity. Do. Could have sworn we picked up an Omen Killer hat, didn't we? Unless it was just the other pieces. I guess I didn't get a hat. Well, shit. Not a big deal. The other Omen Killer pieces would be these somewhere. Man, it sure is hard to find stuff when you have so much stuff. Omen Killer long gloves, long stiff leather gloves worn by the Omen Killers. And the legs. Stiff leather boots worn by the Omen Killers. Nothing special there. I was really hoping I had gotten a freaking hat from them, because their hat, I think, has some interesting lore in it. Oh well. Budding Cave Moss. Perfume bottle. And more importantly, in this treasure chest, a perfumer's cookbook. Number 1. I don't think there's any hidden illusory stuff in this place. Another perfume bottle. Oh no, poison. However will I live? Flower's gotta die, it's in the way. You can even see the item behind it. A nascent butterfly. Let's see, what does that perfumer's cookbook give for us? Let's double check. We can make a spark aromatic and an uplifting aromatic. A record of crafting techniques left by a military perfumer contains martial techniques beyond the repertoire of an ordinary physician. And I think that's all the stuff to grab here in the Perfumer's Ruins. Let me just take a quick double check here. Oh, there is one more thing. Okay, yeah. Then I didn't remember wrong. There is an underground area here. Or, downstairs here somewhere. Oh, here we go. I was literally right next to it. I did remember right. My brain is working. And inside we get a Perfumer's Talisman. Talisman depicting a set of perfume bottles. Raises potency of perfume items. There are gardens known only to the perfumers, whether hidden on the fringes of the highlands or obscured by shadows inside of caves. The flowers blossom in secret, waiting to impart their scent. Sniffer. Oh, this is a less important item, but I'll grab it anyway. Just a golden rune 5. Time for some catacombs. 2 stone sword keys. 1 here, 1 there. By the way, you can always tell whether you need 1 or 2 stone sword keys because if you look at them, they physically have stone swords in them. The bottom one will have a stone sword if you only need 1. It'll already have 1 in it. The unsightly catacombs. By the way, I don't think we're going to do all of the Altus Plateau right away. Listen to those noises. Now, what could be making those noises? Oh my god! It's a misbegotten. Now, what are those doing here? Now, what are they doing here? Oh, that's a big one. Let me just do a little bit of that to start us off. The big ones with the axes are a little dangerous. Just a tiny bit dangerous, but we're good. No need to panic. By the way, let's do this. Any illusions shall now be dispelled. Brave Glove, Wart 5. If you look down, you can see there's stuff down there. So we'll have to make sure we go down there eventually. They sleeping. But not the dog. The dog's gonna be looking at us soon. That long wind-up. Got me. Got me with that long wind-up. Peekaboo. My R1 button is like a tiny bit sticky. I don't know why, and I wish it wasn't, because it's obviously the button I use more. That might be why it is. I paid good money for this PlayStation 5 controller, damn it, because it's a PlayStation 5 controller. I was hoping that it wouldn't degrade in any way for quite some time. Hey, look, an omen. Really hard to get behind these guys unless they let you. They're, despite being large, they're quite fast. Alright, time to backtrack a little bit and make our way to another area. How is it that I get to there again? Eh. Jump, it's a little bit smooth on the surface. I don't think jumping would quite do it. Because I could go all the way down, but I've already been all the way down. I want to get to the, basically where that item is, you know? It can't make that jump. Oh, hi there. There we go, that'll do it. Just drop down like that. We have opened the heavy door. Here we got prattling pate. Apologies. Good old talk items. Oh, I was supposed to drop down from there and then go up from here. Into their sleep pile. My way worked a little bit better. Oh, that one's dead. That one's dead. That one's about to be dead. Some of them are dead, some of them are not. Winged Misbegotten Ashes. A spirit with the aspect of wings which takes flight to loose arrows from its bow. The Misbegotten are held to be a punishment for making a contact with the Crucible, and from birth they are treated as slaves or worse. So again, reminder that in ancient times, it seems that creatures like the Misbegotten, who were born with horns or wings or stuff, were seen as blessed by the divine, because horns, wings, and whatnot were seen as a divine gift, essentially. But as time went on, the Misbegotten and anything born that was like it, that had horns, wings, feathers, whatever, attached to it, were instead seen as horribly malformed and evil. Oh, great. A lion misbegotten with a perfumer. That'll be fun. Bro, can I swing my weapon once without you swinging at me too? Don't make me summon something. I'll do it. There we go. Now it's a 1v1. Yeah, buddy, you read those inputs. Read them good. I was out of stamina. I win! And we get Perfumer Trisha. Used to summon the spirit of Trisha, the Perfumer. Trisha was once known as a healer who dedicated her efforts to treating Misbegotten, Omen, and all those seen as impure. When her efforts failed, she was their companion as they died, watching over them to ensure that they could pass peacefully, free of pain. A tale akin to the origins of the Deathbed Companions. So this was someone who took pity on those that were seen as impure, lesser beings, and she tried to ease their pain as much as possible. So, not a horrible bastard person, basically. And as you saw, Perfumer Trisha was one of our boss enemies in that fight. She was the perfumer that we killed. Now then, I do believe that's most of the basic stuff here. We can go back to this abandoned coffin and then make our way around to the other grace and then make our way to the item we're looking for. How come every single one of these carriages doesn't have a super special chest for us to open with a great piece of armor or weapon or something? How come they aren't filled to the brim with goodies? Well, more than likely because they've been abandoned for as long as they have, including long enough to be buried up to the tip of them, apparently. They've probably already been looted. It'd be awful weird if we were to find an item on one of these carriages. Hey, the ruler's set. Ruler's mask. Mask in the image of a wizened sage. Customary dress among lords in a small nation. Increases faith. Such a mask illustrates the qualities of an ideal lord. Chiefly wise and possessing a certain defanged geniality. One at the center of society often finds these qualities most expedient. And the ruler's robes. A luxurious robe worn by lords in a smaller nation. Its fine blue mantle serves to prove its wearer's status. I'm a lord. Look at me, I'm a little lord. No, I'm a lady? No. I'm a lord. Contrary to popular belief, I do have a penis. I do identify as male. I don't know why it's hard for chat to just accept these things. Dog. Dog must die. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them. The rules say dog must die. Let's see, now where am I? The Erdtree Gazing Hill. Okay. I think if anything, I should probably just like head to the map. That way I can see where I'm going. We've got a golden seed next to the Erdtree Gazing Hill, Grace. I'll come back and do a more thorough sweep of Altus Plateau eventually, but for now, there's the map. I want that. And then I want my Amber Starlight Shard. There we go. Gimme map. Alright, we got the Altus Plateau map. The Altus Plateau, where the Erdtree's base can be found, contains the royal capital of Leyndell to the east and Mount Gelmir to the west. Scars from the shattering remain apparent to this day. Well, you see, to the west, we don't really have things available to us yet. By the way, look how much more massive the map is than what it was. Remember when we began and the map was this big, and now the map is this big, and it's still getting bigger? Yeah. Now then, if I recall correctly, I should be actually pretty close to what I need. Should be, like, right around here-ish? We're working on Celavis's quest right now. Celavis wants us to get an Amber Starlight to make, quote-unquote, the ultimate puppet. It's not down there, is it? I don't think it is. I think it might actually be down there. Shoot. Okay, I guess I gotta backtrack this way and around. It's alright, not a big deal. Ah! Sun in my eyes while I'm driving. Oh, hey. Golden seed. Perfect. If only I could be so grossly incandescent. I say as I stare directly into the sun, my eyes starting to cook like eggs. Sacramental buds. Lots of sacramental buds here. Now, why would there be lots of sacramental buds here? Let's read the description of sacramental buds again real quick. Hold on, just clearing out some octopuses. An immature bud containing fresh blood, believed to originate long ago from a strain of buds cultivated with youthful sacramental blood. So you're saying that these come from blood, huh? Interesting, interesting. Strip of white flesh. Amber Starlight. At the foot of this statue. So, Amber Starlight. Does it not count as a key item when I picked it up? No, there it is. An ephemeral sliver that gives off a pale amber glow, what remains of a passing flash of starlight. If the stars command our fates, then amber-hued stars must command the fates of the gods. Such is the belief that inspired the use of these shards to prepare a most special draft. Cannot be consumed by mere humans. So, this is why Selvus wants us to find this, is because if it can command the fates of the very gods themselves, this amber starlight, regular starlight can determine the fates of humans. That's why the use of that as an ingredient into the drafts that Selvus makes works properly in creating puppets. He posits that amber starlight should work to control a god or a demigod, because it should command the fates of the demigods. This also has a possible explanation for why Radahn might have wanted to halt the flow of the stars, because the fates of people and gods are written by the flow of the stars, and if the flow is stopped, then the command of their fates also is no longer in the hands of the mysterious forces of the stars themselves, and instead in the hands of whoever is choosing what they wish to do with their lives. Or at least, that would be the theory that Radahn might have subscribed to. And it is presented, we are found, before this statue, right here, of a young child and a one-armed woman seemingly comforting each other. Very interesting. Now, let's go tell Selvus that we have gotten a hold of exactly what he was looking for. It's nice of Ronnie to not care that I bring my my yak indoors to ride. She's nice and chill about that. Ow. Now, just one memento before we do this. I'm gonna do a little something something just to be sure that nothing bad happens. Okay.
Begging for another letter. There remains much.
Hey, he's got no more puppets for us for now. I've got this amber starlight you asked me for.
Well, well. You managed to lay your hands on it. The blessed day is finally upon us. Goodness gracious, the way it glistens. Utterly enchanting. To think this was once a demigod's very fate. My, oh my, oh my. Ah. Are you still here? Oh, yes, I should give you your reward. Yeah, please. It's all yours. It's splendid work. It's just marvelous.
We get the magic scorpion charm.
Now just you wait. The merriment is soon to begin.
Boy, he leans in
The scheme
close.
I promised is to be revealed very shortly.
So, that magic scorpion talisman that he handed to us is actually pretty darn good. Where's Scorp talisman at? Oh, there it is. It's next to the sacred scorpion. Duh. A talisman carried by assassins who strike unseen. Patterned on a scorpion freshly shed of its exoskeleton, its claw seizing a heart that shimmers with magic. Raises magic attack power, but lowers damage negation. So, the magic scorpion charm, let me pull up the actual number for how much it gives you. Is part of big magic damage build. It increases magic damage by 12%. Which is pretty darn nice. 12% adds up when you add on top of it more stuff.
You'll be flabbergasted, I can assure you. The secret I promised is to be revealed very shortly. You'll be the secret I...
Now, I do believe that if we quit out and rejoin, it should advance the quest to the next step.
Good. I've been waiting for you. It's finally complete. The perfection of my draft, gleaming nectar sweet. Give it to Rani and ensure she drinks it.
The Amber Draft.
The dead-eyed doll lets down her guard in your presence, rather remarkably. Though she might dip her hands in the dirt and feign that icy persona, she's a frail, gentle girl at heart.
About that draft.
Understand, don't you? That once you have Rani drink my draft, my scheme will come to fruition. And well, we'll be in a position to claim the very finest puppet ever crafted. Just imagine the pure elation.
The Amber Draft. A small flask received from Preceptor Seluvis containing a gleaming amber draft for use in a scheme. Give it to Rani and ensure she drinks it, and we'll be in a position to claim the very finest puppet ever crafted. So you can tell that Seluvis is disgusting, to be perfectly honest. Just an absolutely gross person. Remember, he said, "I wish to produce the finest of puppets, which I will cherish with these very hands." Yeah. Not gross at all, buddy. By the way, if you say you're not interested when he talks about the scheme, then he's like, "Oh, good job. You passed my test. I was just making sure that you would be a properly loyal person to Lady Rani. Well done. I'm very proud of you." Anyway, watch. Despite the fact that Rani is in slumber, we can administer the draft.
Well, this is a most unpleasant awakening. The depths of wickedness never fail to surprise me. I am saddened that thou wouldst succumb to such depravity. Led astray by Seluvis with devious tonic in hand. Didst thou think to have thy way with me? Begone, hapless scum. I won't have another whiff of thy rotten breath.
She doesn't take too kindly to you trying to use your date rape drug on her.
I have spoken. Away from my sight. This is the third time, fiend. Enough of thy unbearable breath.
Yeah. Yeah. And she just kills your ass for that. She is not happy about this. And who can blame her? Like I said, she does not want you to... She's not particularly excited that you were in cahoots with Seluvis, and she even apparently knew that Seluvis was this worthless piece of scum, but was willing to use him, and now she has gone. And she will not be coming back at all. Rani's questline is now completely and utterly broken. Now that being said, let's check a couple of things. First off, let's go see how Celavis reacts. His amber draft did not seem to work too well. And beyond that, Ronnie also had his number and knew exactly what kind of person he was. Oh, well, would you look at this? He seems to be dead. Celavis is bear-bearing, Preceptor's big hat, long gown, gloves, and trousers. So, let's go ahead and take a look at that equipment. The Preceptor's big hat, a large brim hat with the movements of the stars drawn on the insides of the brim, worn by the magic Preceptors who serve the Carian royals. Increase mind to the detriment of stamina. Gain more FP, lose a bit of stamina. Glintstone sorcerers are the descendants of astrologers, a fact that the Carians remain ever aware of, even if their fate has been long severed from the stars. Preceptor's long gown, a long bright blue gown with the movements of the stars drawn upon it. Worn by the magic Preceptors who serve the Carian royals, and the rest all say the same thing. It's actually a pretty nice looking robe. Pretty nice robe.
Stop. Please stop. You're my puppet. I loved you with all I have. How could you forget such...
Oops. Oopsie. So yeah, again, Celavis, disgusting, horrible person. Literally asking you to administer your date rape drug to two women. First Nefeli Lu, and then to Ronnie. He even talks about her in the creepiest manner, like, deep down, she's just a frightened, normal little girl. Yes. Don't you think about it. And hey! Look at this. Pidia's bell-bearing, and Dolores the sleeping arrow puppet. Hey! Guess what? Servant Pidia's bell-bearing, found upon his perished flesh. Same with Celavis's bell-bearing. So, here's what's been going down this whole time. This man here, Pidius, was also Celavis. He is an Albanorak who became pretty darn accomplished when it comes to using puppets. The reason why he was allowed to stick around, despite how disgusting of a hobby and fetish he has, is specifically because, notice all these Knights of the Cuckoo puppets here and whatnot, he essentially created the security system for the Carian royal family, or the Carian royal manor, that is now employed beyond just the giant hands that roam about the courtyard. All these Knights of the Cuckoo that had once attacked Caria Manor, he took their corpses, turned them into puppets. Or any of them that may have been living, for that matter, as well. Which created the spirits that got summoned on the main path to Ronnie's, the Three Sisters outside area, where the boss fight with Loretta was at, that stuff. It was all because of this guy here. Celavis and this guy are one and the same. Celavis was just another puppet that he was controlling. It was another persona for him, where he got to live out his fantasy of being a high-level noble, because he himself is a spurned Albanorak with a weak body and a poor constitution and whatnot. So essentially, he was just pretending to be a big-level noble and always sneering and looking down on people because it was what he always wanted to be, and he wasn't able to be it due to the fact that he was born as, or created as an Albinauric. And when Seluvis dies, he dies as well. Because, I believe, at least I suppose, his overall control over stuff gets tinged. It could also be that Seluvis is different from him, and Seluvis's control of puppets gets cut, and then he gets killed because he was the one nearby and doing whatever horrible things he was doing to these puppets. But I like to think that they're pretty much one and the same person. Especially because of the fact that when one dies, the other dies as well. If they're not one and the same, they are at least partners in crime and accomplices with each other. Now then, as for Ronnie now despising us and hating our guts, this gives us a good opportunity to come over here to the Church of Vows and do that thing that we were told about by the turtle.
To experience the miracle, kneel in the basin at the back and cleanse yourself with celestial dew. Absolution will be yours. Any bond, no matter how strained or even severed, will be put to rights.
So, as he says, let us cleanse ourselves with celestial dew. Let us atone for our sins. And our sins are absolved. Let's go see if it worked or not. Will Ronnie be there? She will be, but this will be a good opportunity. This is just me being able to show off the mechanic and how it works. And reminder, that uses celestial dew for it to work. Allows one to carry out absolution at the Church of Vows, reversing all antagonization. Once upon a time, the stars of the night sky guided fate, and this is a recollection of those times. So essentially what we're doing is we're rearranging the fates of what actually happened. Now, oh boy, the bots are coming. Sorry about that, guys. I had some bot stomping to do. Now we have basically rewritten history and rewritten reality to the point where that thing we did that pissed Ronnie off, no, that didn't happen at all. Remember that time we tried to do horrible, horrible things to Ronnie's unconscious body? I sure don't. Don't worry, if there was any way, shape, or form that could actually succeed against Ronnie, I wasn't ever going to do that, because it would make me feel absolutely disgusting in the first place. And with that, we have completed Preceptor Seluvis's quest line. Oh, I forgot. The other reason why I like to think that Preceptor Seluvis and Pydia, right, Pydia, that's what I said, are pretty much one and the same, is because Pydia has Dolores the Sleeping Arrow puppet, which, if you properly...
O tarnished, why have thee betrayed? You wanted to collaborate with such disgusting, vile being.
No.
You hath became my warrior, and yet you have betrayed me. I
shall
forgive you, Tarnished. You shall be forgiven, and you will become my sword and shield once more.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, because Dolores is a puppet that's only givable to you if you actually give the tonic to Nephili Lu, and it is given to you by Seluvis, I like to think that Selvus and Pydia are basically one and the same, because Pydia has this on his person when you find his corpse. Used to summon the spirit of Dolores the Sleeping Arrow, spirit of a handsome archer who dressed in the style of a man, called the Silent Hunter by some. She fires St. Trina's arrows from her short bow. Dolores once belonged to the Round Table Hold, where she was both a critic and a friend of Gideon the All-Knowing. It was because of her that he and Selvus went their separate ways. So, I like to think that Selvus is the same as Pydia because of that. Same guy. And that ends that quest line with Selvus/Pydia. They are done. Completed. Finito. And now that that's done, remember when a giant star, a big-ass meteor, fell its way into Limgrave? Let's go check that out. I know we only dipped our toes into the Altus Plateau, but that's kind of what I was planning on doing the whole time. Was just a little toe dip. And you can see, it's very easy to tell where it landed, because not only has there been a giant hole opened up here, but there's a bunch of floating, gravity-defying debris where that meteorite landed. You know what time it is. It's time to fall down some stuff. Elden Ring loves falling down stuff. Loves it. Can't get enough of it. Hey, look! Architecture! It's very foggy here. Soporific grease. That's a new one. Solidified grease made from a mixture of light purple materials. Coats your armament to inflict sleep. Nothing back here, right? I don't think so. So we are able to see just a little bit of architecture here. You can see that we have bashed our way into some buildings. Some underground buildings. A fair bit underneath the surface. Which means we can be in only one place. Nokron, the Eternal City. Remember, we were at Siofra before, the Siofra riverbank, and looking up, we could see the Eternal City above that. We are now in that above area, as you can see by the fact that we are on some rooftops. Give me 1 second. Boop doop boo. And that and that. Oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Vilif. Okay. I was just opening up an interactive map to keep an eye on items and make sure I don't miss anything. I have an idea of where everything is, but I don't know 100%. Do I have to make that jump to get the item over there? I forget. Let me double check. That should be the Ghost Flame Torch. Yep, I do need to make that jump. Okay. And across the flying buttresses. The Ghost Flame Torch. We definitely want this because it's got some interesting stuff. A metal torch that burns with cold ghost flame, tool of the fallen hawks who prowl the underground rivers. When the band's last embers were used up in their long search, they began to burn the bones of their fellows, acquiring the cold ghost flame, but sealing their fate as dwellers of the underground for all eternity. The band of the fallen hawks, you say? Where have I heard a name like that before? Berserk. Anyway, the interesting thing about this is the fact that it tells us where Ghost Flame comes from. That flame that we've seen over and over again. That white fluorescent flame with some dark tinged inside of it that we have seen being used as attacks by the likes of the Deathbirds, for example, comes from burning the bones of the dead. Okay, you're way over there. I don't need to worry about that thing. And now behold, the other thing that we will find in the Eternal City. These liquid metal blobs that act as guards. Remember what we've seen before from items such as the larval tear. Core of a creature of mimicry known as the silver tear. As much a substance as it is a living organism. That's essentially what these are. They are, again, these are supposed to be basically a stand-in for mercury. Because ancient alchemy stuff and ancient magic practices saw mercury as this magic liquid metal before they learned what it actually is and how it actually functions. And the fact that it's toxic as all hell. But in the world of Elden Ring, it is instead actually this magical liquid metal stuff that allows a liquid to form into a solid and vice versa. And is used by the Eternal City as a way to mimic things such as weaponry, shields, or even like creatures and whatnot. Let's see. Okay, I know where I am now. Should be a thing that I can get soon. Pearl Calling Finger Remedy. Smithing Stone 5. One thing that I like that we can see from the decorations and whatnot is that the culture of the Eternal City is a bit different from what we've seen on the surface. They've got different ornamentation to the things like the vases and the chests and their doors and windows and stuff, anything like that, all has completely different decorative features to it than anything we've seen on the surface. It's very much different. Silver Tear Husk. A hardened husk shed by a formless lifeform known as the Silver Tear, found in and around the Eternal City. The Silver Tear makes a mockery of life, reborn again and again into imitation. Perhaps one day it will be reborn a lord. Hey! Remember that talk from the Ghost Flame about the Band of the Hawk? I'm sorry, the Band of the Fallen Hawk? Here they are. They're carrying Ghost Flame torches, their hands and feet coated in blood. They've got Ghost Flame on their arrows as well. Any semblance of normalcy they might have had once in their lives is clearly gone. But you have to wonder, now why is it that the Band of the Fallen Hawk is here in Nokron in the first place when, by the description of the torch, they clearly aren't normal residents here? Why, they must have been looking for something. Stop shooting at me, sir. That was rude. I'm talking about the history of your dead comrades. Ghost Glovewort Picker's Bell Bearing 1. This is actually pretty useful. Come on, come here. Come here, little shieldy. Hey, fine, I'll come to you. Another shield bearer, all right. You can tell their shields, which may have once been pretty useful, aren't very useful anymore. They don't block full damage anymore. Anyway, one thing that is very important about the Band of the Fallen Hawk, like I mentioned before with them, is the fact that their hands are completely coated in blood and it looks like the skin's been ripped off around them. And the reason why I think that's important is that we will see plenty of them, not all of them, but many of them will be like digging into the dirt, almost like they're looking for something. Like this guy here. Which means that whatever they were sent to find down here, they never did retrieve it. And probably spent their entire lives trying their best to find it up until the point they died. And even after death, there's still some semblance of that humanity left of them trying and searching for something, and in vain clawing at the ground as hard as they can until the skin starts to rip off and their fingernails get stripped and all that stuff. Visual storytelling. That's called visual storytelling. Great Shield Soldier's Ashes. Used to summon 5 Great Shield Soldier spirits. Spirits of Great Shield soldiers who belong to the Fallen Hawks, a band of soldiers that once explored the Eternal City. Stout defenders with a steady guard. Though their methods are somewhat crude, they work well as a squadron and will attract the attention of enemies or lob Ghost Flame from the rear guard. This is actually one of the better summons in the game. If you're looking for a strong Ash that is cheap, that one's really, really good. Those 5 Great Shield guys can stun lock enemies sometimes. They're very hard to kill because they constantly hold their tower shields up. They have a fair bit of HP to them. They're very good. And also, we're finding a lot of Ghost Glovewort in this area, which only in-game so far has been found near sites of great death. We see that there's a little bit of cemetery here, but the Great Death, you can definitely tell, is a lot of it is the band of the Hawk here that is completely and totally dead. A melty mushroom. I do love just how much you can infer from just like certain visuals. The visuals of the members of the band here being what they were, telling a story of having been sent to search for something and digging desperately trying to find it because they can't return until they have found it. Look! One of those Nox warriors. This is a Nox priestess, if you recall. That's a boss that we fought before. In Celia. However, she's not a boss anymore. She's just a normal enemy here, as she is a member of the Nox people. The people who live in Nokron. Larval tier. Splorch. So much dew-kissed herba. Golden Rune 7. Let's grab this as well. Okay, so hey, let's take a quick peek at, like, the architecture around here, because it's pretty interesting. So, here we've got some crumbled ruins, essentially, and stuff like that. What we just came from seemed like it would have been a more residential district based on much more normal housing rooftops and stuff, you know, before the meteorite fell in and crushed a bunch of stuff. But now we've come into something that has much more elaborate architecture in the build, stuff that looks a lot more like important buildings, temples, libraries, churches, stuff like that, you know? Over there, we've got what looks like some aqueducts based on the design of it. Old-ass aqueduct design. More important-looking buildings, as I've said before, things with much more intricate design behind them, a lot more pillars, windows, and spires and whatnot. And there we have a fucking giant corpse sitting in a giant throne. Huh. Where'd that come from? Because the Nox people we've seen so far are not that huge. Not even close. Let's see, do I have any equipment that would look good for this? Not really. All right, let's do this. My life for ire. So, welcome to what might be considered blasphemy by the Golden Order. The culmination of research behind their liquid metal, the Mimic Tier. It can do anything that we can do. Whatever equipment we come in with, it will have equipped. Which means if you want this fight to be really easy, then you just take off all your equipment and then beat it down with your best equipment afterwards. But I want to give it a fighting chance. We're having a big old zealot fight. Protoss versus Protoss. Let's go. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. As this is an NPC, it actually has some... It's like an NPC fight. It actually fights fairly well. If you let it have, like, your good weapons, this can actually be a really tough fight. My turn. Hey, stop that. That's cheating. I haven't healed yet. Okay, fine. My turn. Alright, I've grown tired of slap fighting. We get a larval tier and the silver tier mask. Mask fashioned from the corpse of a formless silver tier, supported by its hardened shed husk, greatly increases arcane to the detriment of physical attack power. To imitate the imitator is a cunning play indeed. I mean, look at that. Plus 8 arcane, but yeah, it does definitely reduce your damage by a fair bit. So, not good unless you're actually doing an arcane build. Anyway, the reason the Mimic Tier probably exists in the first place, guys. Remember, we got a bit of lore earlier about these silver tears. The hardened silver tear husk, I think, has it, right? Yes. It makes mockery of life, reborn again and again into imitation. Perhaps one day it will be reborn a lord. That seems to hint that the people of Nokron were probably attempting to create an artificial lord, like perhaps something on the same level as a god or a demigod, with the practice of these creation of these mimic tears, right? Remember, Nokron was banished to Underground for heresy against the Two Fingers and the Greater Will. So it is quite possible that that might be part of the reason why. The other thing was said that they had the means to deal harm to the servants of the Greater Will, which I would assume would be the Two Fingers. Which means that this liquid metal stuff might have a way of killing the Two Fingers. I mean, it is, you know, like poisonous mercury, so... Perhaps the Two Fingers will die to it. And the end of this long aqueduct bridge is some parkour. But I'll do that parkour maybe a little bit later. You know what? I've used the gold halberd for a little while. Let's use something else. Knight Rider flail. Why not? What are you doing there, Mr. Deadman? Lord of Blood, your eminence, I beg you grant me the seat at the table of the dynasty. Long live the Mogwin dynasty! Long live the Mogwin dynasty! And he's praying to over there because that is Mogwin, which we have gotten a glimpse to. In fact, the Lord of Blood Moog must be right up top there. We'll be sure to chat with him eventually. Look! Ancestors! Makes sense they'd be here. They're down below as well. In the Siofra River. And they're communing with nature with all these bucks. And look, flames to light. Yes, that's right. It's what you might think it is. Sing, my angel of music. These guys are enjoying their concert. No more concert. Concert's canceled, sorry. They are understandably upset. They paid good money for those Miku concert tickets, and I just ended the concert. They're understandably upset. They paid good money for the Miku concert tickets, and it was instead run by a bunch of idiots. So it was terrible. Touch Grace. Okay, now that I've got that grace point, I'm gonna light this fire first, and then I'm gonna go do that parkour. So, that's a little bit too far. We're gonna have to get on the one in front of it. I'd prefer not to lose all these runes, if possible. Oh no. Damn it. I missed the pillar again. Sigh. Let's try one more time. I sure do hope this is where I'm supposed to start doing the parkour and I'm not being stupid. I might be being stupid. There is a real chance that I'm being stupid. I think maybe if I just hop down from here, it'll be a little safer. And hey, we'll light this fire while we're here. Baby, light my fire. There we go. Now that's a little simpler than trying to land on the hard to land on pillar. Ow. My ankles. We've got a Clarifying Horn Charm +1. Smithing Stone 2. Some Celestial Dew to replace the one I used earlier to show off pissing Ronnie off and how she insta-kills your ass. And to complete Celavis's shitty little quest. Take that, America. Your bald eagles are dead. I suppose there's nothing over here. However, there is definitely more parkour we can do. See that over there? We want to get down to that. So here's a nice little trick you can do. You can fall and then jump back with your double jump on the horse when there's an easy to land on ledge. That'll keep you safe. So we're parkouring down some statues. And this takes... I believe this is actually the only way we can get to this area. This takes us to an little, like, pond area. Got some crabs and whatnot here. And you can see there's a waterfall there that leads into the Siofra River. I feel like a tour guide right now. And if you take a look over to the right, you'll see some flying buttresses up to a large cathedral that has some upside-down building spires made into it. Isn't that lovely, everyone? Hey, look, it's these guys, the bubble-blowing babies. They love blowing bubbles. Got it! Great Oracular Bubble. Great Oracular Bubble. We will be reading that after I get sufficiently far away from these nerds. Okay. Where is it? There we go. Sorcery of the Claymen, who served as priests in the ancient dynasty. Produces a gigantic magical bubble that drifts towards foes before it naturally ruptures. Charging increases the delay before the pop. The Claymen search for lost oracles within their bubbles. Same little bit thing there is that they're naturally looking for lost oracles within their bubbles. Which, as far as I can tell, just means that they think they can divine some sort of meaning from the bubbles. Whether that is true or not, though, is very questionable. Let's see, where am I right now? Right now. I don't think that there's actually a site of grace around here for me, is there? In that case, I'll have to not play around too much. Because dying and having to come back would be a slight annoyance. Although I think there was a Stake of America nearby. I could just respawn there. Still tons of Claymen around here. It's interesting that we've only seen one member of the actual residents of Nox as opposed to the Claymen. Like the Nox monks or priestesses. Now that we've gone to Nokron proper, we've seen one of them. A lot of silver tears, a lot of Claymen, a lot of the ancestors, the Vikings essentially. But very little in the way of actually getting to see the Nox people. Seems to suggest that there's not a whole lot of them here. Okay, we're going to bring out a big weapon for this so that I don't have to worry too much. And by a big weapon, I mean a strong weapon, like my Uchi. Because this right here is a boss, the Dragonkin Soldier. My god, I'm doing way more damage than I should be. I might be a tiny bit over-leveled for him. I mean, I'm a tiny bit over-leveled for the whole game. Oh, you can still kill me in 2 hits. It's fine. Great enemy felled, the Dragonkin Soldier, and we get the Dragon Halberd. Halberd shaped like a dragon, enwreathed with both ice and lightning. Alas, the Dragonkin soldiers never attained immortality and perished as decrepit, pale imitations of their skyborn kin. So the Dragonkin soldiers, I believe, are specifically warriors who were partaking in dragon communion and trying to turn themselves into dragons, or being forced to try and turn themselves into dragons by higher-ups, but only instead became these monstrous human-dragon hybrids that are far inferior to what an actual dragon would be. And here we get Marika's Scar Seal. An eye engraved with an Elden rune, said to be the seal of Queen Marika. Raises mind, intelligence, faith, and arcane, but also increases damage taken. These seals represent the lifelong duty of those chosen by the gods. So, this is much like a Radagon seal. It is a seal directly engraved onto an eyeball, but this one is all about your magic effects as opposed to your physical stats. Okay, and that, I do believe, is the last thing we can find down here. I think. Okay, the other thing that might be here is a cookbook, and I don't care that much, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, how many times have we used crafting? Very seldom. Not a whole lot of times. Alright, let's go back to some other weapon. Well, let's swing this stupidly slow greatsword for a little bit. Wolves! Not sure how that missed, but it's fine. Beast blood. Smithing stone. Notice that you see corpses of mages down here, interestingly enough. And a Radagon's red wolf as well. Let's throw rocks at it. Oh, I did not like rocks being thrown. It seems like the Academy of Rhea Lucaria may have sent this stuff down, or perhaps Radagon himself made an order to send a company of mages down here, along with a red wolf accompanying them, to look for something. After all, we're seeing a lot of bodies of mages nearby that red wolf of Radagon. Light my fire, baby, light my fire. Look, the rats are joining in for the concert here. Whoa, don't you try hitting me with that magic fire nonsense. Stop swinging over the rat's head, thank you very much. Fastest attack this weapon has. Crouching attack. Hiya! Give me your goodies. Ash of War, Enchanted Shot. So, Enchanted Shot, another bow, Ash of War. Enliven the arrow with spiritual essence. The resulting shot will fly faster than regular shots and change trajectory to follow the target. You make homing arrows. Fast moving homing arrows. Just hop right on over here in order to get down to here, in order to get the items over here. We've got some Ghost Glovewort, Golden Rune 12, which is worth a lot of runes. Some nascent butterflies. A lot of nascent butterflies. I think this is like the best place to go for nascent butterflies, if you are in need of them. However, you'll notice, not much of a way back, eh? But we can hop on over here in order to find you. She's not singing for some reason. By the way, you'll notice she's carrying an animal skull as her casting focus. But she was protecting, or defending, an ancestral infant's head. I'm sorry, that wasn't a talisman, right? Shouldn't be. Oh, I am the dumb. I should have double-checked what it was. Like the idiot I am, I didn't see where it went. Oh no. Is it just a normal usable item? Oh, it is, yeah. It's like the Wraith Calling Bell. Skull of a very young ancestral spirit. Just think how many sproutings it might bear. Use FP to spray spirit vapor, inflicting magic damage. The vapor becomes a temporary geyser which deals continuous damage to everything it touches until it disappears. It does exactly what they do. Just like that. It's okay, to be honest. I don't remember using it much at all. I think if you can, like, guarantee something sits still, then it's probably pretty good, but good luck with that. Not a whole lot of enemies like to sit still in Elden Ring. Most of them like to hop around and attack you and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Oh, hey. Hey now, Mr. Archer. Yeah? You don't even know I'm here anymore, do you? You don't know nothing. Wait, how do you know I'm here? Map hacker. Mods, someone go ahead and ban this man. He's map hacking. They're singing and worshiping this dead ancestral spirit. And look, a bunch of deer are here too. For obvious reasons. Sorry, but concert's over. Oh, with the horns. She gave us the Shining Horn headband from the lady. There we go. Headband decorated by a pair of shining horns worn by ancestral follower shaman. Horns with buds that also shine are ideal ceremonial items for ancestral worship. Strengthens ancestral infant's head. Ghost Glovewort 4. Power gathers somewhere and horn remains. Wow, I wonder where it could be. Could it be right here? Weirdly enough, the answer is no. You would think it would be these horned remains right here, but it's not. Ah! I fell. Ow. Hey, we got his weapon at least, the Great Horn Hammer. Bro, come on, don't do this. Look what happened to your friends when they did this. Oh, okay, fair enough. Yay, weapon. the Great Horn Hammer, a huge, thick horn curved with tree ring-like markings adapted into a bludgeoning weapon, wielded by ancestral follower warriors. The ancient horn is imbued with the power of ancestral spirits. A small amount of HP is restored upon defeating an enemy. So, yet another weapon that you can use in order to keep your health up as you explore your way through the game by killing stuff. Kukri. Now, before I go too hog wild and jump into that boss fight, taking a quick peek around. Not sure if I missed the modeled necklace +1 yet or not. I think it might be up above me. Anyway, exactly the same as the last time we did this. This ancestral spirit is a boss fight that takes you to the boss fight dimension. And it is a regal ancestor spirit, making it slightly different from the last one. As in, it's tougher. Ooh, that hit me? Okay. Bad roll, bad roll. Oh no, there it goes. Unfortunately, no torrent available. Owie. So this one you can tell is a much tougher ancestral spirit than the first one we fought down in the Siofra River. Come here. Oh, here it comes. Oh, the recovery of the jump attack is so long. It's given the suck. So that's the gimmick of this one, is it can do that suck and suck up life from you and the enemies around it in order to heal. Oh, he coming. Look at him go. why I know roll. You gotta be close to falling on your ass, right? How have I not broken your poise yet? Keep rolling. It's Sanic. He's got the Morph Ball upgrade, yeah. If I wasn't using a bad weapon, this fight would have ended a long time ago. What? Okay. Alright, where are you going for your last hit of health, buddy? Remembrance of the Regal Ancestor. This is an entirely optional boss fight, by the way. And now that the Regal Ancestor has died, so are all the animal spirits that were with it. So, yeah. It seems like kind of a rude thing for me to do that. Huh. Remembrance of the Regal Ancestor spirit hewn into the Erd Tree. The power of its namesake can be unlocked by the finger reader. Ancestral spirits exist as a phenomenon beyond the purview of the Erd Tree. Life sprouts from death as it does from birth. Such is the way of the living. That's pretty interesting there. It says life sprouts from death as it does from birth, which is to say that outside of the cycle of the Erd Tree that was imposed, it seems that it is kind of a natural thing for there to be a level of existence after death. And these Regal Ancestor spirits are supposed to be somewhat proof of that, along with all the other spirit animals that you can see that are around it, that are gathered around it. Which means that the Golden Order and the enforcers of it that go around slaughtering those who live in death, calling it an unnatural thing and a breakaway from the cycle of the Erd Tree, are possibly just enforcing going against the natural cycle of existence in the lands between. At least it seems to hint at that a little bit. There we go. This should be the +1, right? Yeah, modeled necklace +1. Better modeled necklace. It's useful to equip something like the model necklace if you're going through, I don't know, a poison swamp, but I mean, how many of those could possibly be in the game? Am I right, guys? 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 Always turn around when you drop down, because there might be a stone sword key in this case. Silver tier husk. Yeah, that's just that down there. We'll take a seat. Let's use a different weapon now. How about... maybe I should get one of these great hammers leveled up. Yeah, you know what? Let's level up one of those great hammers.
Ah, I had been waiting for your return. I've decided to leave the Round Table hold after all. As I mentioned, I'm off in search of the noble gold mask. We may not meet again for some time. If there's any incantations you wish to learn, now's the moment.
Oh, say it ain't so, Brother Corin. I'm gonna miss you so much.
May the Golden Order shine through you.
You've been such an incredibly...
Further study of incantation, I can happily spend. May the Golden Order...
yeah, I'm not gonna miss him at all. I can't even pretend. You've been such an incredibly nothing character.
Well, I took you for no matter it's lay out your arms.
It's up the brick hammer. Me like hit thing with hammer. My name is Thor. I should like hitting things with a hammer. Do 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 do. Offer a bell bearing. The ghost form picker's bell bearing. The Bone Peddler's Bell Bearing, the Gravity Stone Peddler's Bell Bearing, Celavis's Bell Bearing, and I guess Pydia's Bell Bearing. I don't think I need to offer either of those. Celavis? Nope, didn't need any of his stuff either. But we can now get Ghost Glovewort 1, 2, and 3 from one of the bell bearings that we handed over. Those are now available to us for all time forever. So we got more upgrade materials, ash upgrade materials, that we can just buy as many of as we possibly want. That's nice. And hey, you're a new face here, for us at least, at the round table. Why are you red? Why are you sitting around a mountain of corpses and grossness here?
Have you ever felt the curse? With your whole being, the pox upon life itself, feared and despised by all. The reviled blessing. Apparently not. You are but a lamb, a stranger to defilement, ignorant of your own ignorance. You no longer interest me. I've been long without peace. Don't spoil my quietude.
Curses and defilement, he says. You can see that he is wearing full armor with an emblem of the sun hanging from his neck. His neck itself has a chain on it. And he looks positively disgusting.
I asked you not to disturb me. Be thankful of the hold serenity. It is all that keeps your death and defilement at bay. I asked you, be thankful of that. It is all.
He's threatening to kill and defile us. Rude.
Journey to the two thing you maybe.
You got anything to talk about that guy, Gideon? No? Okay. By the way, notice the round table hold is getting pretty depopulated. Almost everyone that used to be hanging out here is gone. Roger is gone, Fia is gone, D is gone, Dialos is gone, Corin's about to leave. Gideon's bodyguard is gone. At least we've got Fia and Hugh. Or, I'm sorry, Roderica and Hugh. There's something you should know.
I need to warn you about something. A little while ago, someone started lurking in the wing on the opposite side of the round table. And I can hear, from all the way over there, the howling and wailing of spirits in fear of a curse. I can even hear the repulsive twisted malice in itself. A plethora of spirits in an unceasing cacophony. I can't even imagine. How much suffering inflicted to who knows how many souls. Not even the grafting caused anything like this to happen. You should keep your distance. I know you're strong, but please.
So yeah, Roderica, as someone that can commune with the spirits and has a close tie to them, can sense a cacophony of wailing and suffering from them from that red spirit gentleman that we talked to earlier, talking about a curse of defilement.
I can hear it from across the wing, the howling and wailing of spirit. You should keep your distance. I know you should.
And she is a little worried about us. That's cute. Aw. She thinks we're in danger. Let's put a few levels into the Great Shield Soldier Ashes. In fact, we'll use them on our next fight that I use any ashes on. Just to show you that they're pretty solid.
Back all no matter.
Let's see. What else could I have Hugh level up for me? Beep boop. Can we add Roderica to our waifu harem? I mean, knowing chat, you'd be insulted if we didn't. Maybe the Great Horde Hammer too? Sure. Hey, Nefeli, you feeling any better?
And this ash. It reminds me.
Nope. Still talking about the ancient storm. Okay, let's head back to where we were. In Nokron, we were at the aqueduct facing cliffs. Pretty on-the-nose name there. And they are the cliffs facing the aqueduct. Makes sense. Let's go hit things with a hammer. Hey, look! A Crucible Knight. Remember, we found another Crucible Knight. In the Seofer River, but we had to teleport to him. So, more evidence that the Crucible Knights were given some sort of mission in the area. Much probably the same mission as that band of the Hawk. You know, the one that's all dead. Swing, and one more? No? Didn't do the extra? No! That delay. That delay got me. Oopsie. Fortunately, no torrent allowed here. Okay, hammer is a tiny bit slow for this guy. Swing, swing. Okay, game. I hit the roll button for fun instead of for rolling. Understood. Missionaries Cookbook 5. Damn you. You read my input, you fucker. It is really weird when I don't roll when I hit roll. I'm sorry I'm dying to this guy. I'm gonna do a faster weapon and feel better about it. We're just gonna use the Uchi. The hammer's a little slow for him. Swing, swing. I can thrust too. Whoosh. Ah, thank you, game, for the sharp turnaround. Thank you for that. I don't know why it did that. This fight should have been a one and done. Swing, swing. Whoosh. Oh, well. Huh. I didn't know they could do that. I've never seen one jump off the edge before. Crucible Horn Shield. I mean, it was going to die soon anyway, but still. Great Shield of the Red-Tinged Gold, carried by Crucible Knights, features a great horn. An ancient holiness dwells within. The Crucible Horn skewers foes when performing shield bashes. An ancient holiness, that is the holiness of the Crucible. Lucky? I guess. I mean, we were gonna kill him anyway, but still. Nice of him to do the job himself. By the way, I want to point out how much easier that fight is with a fast weapon than a slow weapon. Slow weapons are just so bad in modern Souls-style games. They're so bad. Hey! Look over there. Another Crucible Knight. I guess I'll pull my katana out again. Because I have no interest in wasting a bunch of time. Yeah, okay. Whoop. How come you two can't hit each other? I guess you're on the same side, huh? That was the shoulder tackle. Big slam. That big slam would have killed me if it hit. There, notice how much better a fast weapon is against these Crucible Knights. Somber Smithing Stone 6. Now we will smash hammer into enemies. Howdy, pal. Notice the flames down here in Nokron on their candles and stuff are blue, denoting that they must be using some level of magic for their flames. Look at the, like, solidified corpses here that look like they're screaming out in horror. We get Order Healing here. One of the incantations of the Golden Order fundamentalists used by hunters of those who live in death. Alleviates death blight buildup. The noble gold mask lamented what had become of the hunters. How easy it is for learning and learnedness to be reduced to the ravings of fanatics. All the good and the great wanted in their foolishness was an absolute evil to contend with. Does such a notion exist in the fundamentals of order? So we haven't met with Goldmask, but Goldmask apparently was not particularly thrilled with what had become of the Golden Order and some of the fundamentalists within. A very Warhammer-esque look at how fanaticism can easily overtake those that are involved in religion, is essentially what that's getting at. Now then, rather than continue this way, I've got a little business back here. Specifically this way. Because if you take a look, it looks like there must be stuff down there. Because there is stuff down there. Let's see, what's the normal intended way to go through here again? Here we go. The Knight's Sacred Ground. I haven't gone through this the normal way in a long time. I've only done it the speedrun way for quite a while. Rune Arc. Ow. What a shot. That was pretty far. Silver Tear. Yet another tear, much like the Mimic Tear. That is imitating the life of someone else. And another one. This one with a mace. was a close one. Almost had me there. So yeah, these Nox people got really close on developing something that properly imitates life to a scary degree, to the point where they were probably going to use it to try and imitate the strength of those who had godlike powers, you know, like America and her lineage of demigods. Imagine you just come down here and one of those silver tears turns itself into Radon, right? Imagine they could have an army of Radons if they were successful at that. Darkness imprisoning me. And here we have the Black Wet Blade. I hear you moving around there. Don't you do nothing. Black Wet Blade with a cipher engraved. Can be used as a whetstone knife. When applying an affinity using physical or occult type ashes of war, an additional affinity of poison, blood, or occult can be chosen. So, studies of the profane, the occult, studies of blood, studies of poison, stuff like that was going on by the Nox people at some point in time, possibly at the point in time before they were banished underground in the first place. Quit making noises. I've got a stone sword key. See, there's already one in the bottom one, so it only takes one. We've got a priestess here praying. Unfortunately for her, that prayer has been interrupted. And within the chest before her is a legendary item, the Mimic Tear Ashes. Legendary Ashen Remains, used to summon the spirit of the Mimic Tear. Summoning consumes HP rather than FP. This spirit takes the form of the summoner to fight alongside them, but its mimicry does not extend to imitating the summoner's will. Mimic Tears are the result of an attempt by the Eternal City to forge a lord. So this is the best ashes in the game, because it creates an exact copy of whatever you have equipped at the time, whatever your stats are at the time, everything like that. Which means if you have a casting focus equipped and spells, it can cast spells. If you have I guess technically also a casting focus, it can cast the incantations as well. If you have whatever weapon you have equipped, it'll use that weapon. It can even use items that you have equipped. Like, say you have, like, kukris equipped. It can use kukris, etc., etc. That's really, 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 really good, especially the later in the game you get, because the later in the game and the stronger you get, the more powerful it gets. It scales with you. Mimic Tear is insanely good, gameplay-wise. Now, as for the lore behind it, it is exactly as it says. Mimic Tears are the result of an attempt by the Eternal City to forge a lord. They were trying to create their own Elden Lord, or something similar to it. Something that could possibly help them fight back and get themselves out of their underground exile and back up to the surface. Noro, thank you for the raid. Hello, Noro Raiders. Welcome to Elden Ring lore. We just got the Mimic Tear. How are you guys doing? Didn't they nerf it extremely? Yeah, they nerfed the Mimic Tear. It doesn't mean it's unusable or bad or terrible. It's still extremely good. It's still double damage and double hits and double everything. It's still busted. Bussin'. I'm about to bust. Anything hidden? Nope. Okay. So hey, more melted people that have turned to stone with horrified looks on their faces. Apparently whatever happened in Nokron in ancient times. Thank you for the da-da-da-da-da. I might have to turn that off for a bit. Anyhows, apparently whatever happened back in the day was horrible. By the way, this is an enemy. You probably shouldn't be able to lock onto it until it's properly shown as an enemy, but...
Nice.
We're just gonna whack this ball around and make sure it doesn't get a chance to do much. And we find another priestess here in this temple. Who would have guessed you'd find a priestess in the temple? And you can see that there are even essentially pews here and whatnot. So this was, at some point, perhaps a site of worship. You can even... And you would have important figureheads up here making talk to people down below, that kind of stuff. No, 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 no. Don't breathe mercury in my face. And another grace. And the name of this grace is the Night's Sacred Ground. My question is, am I dumb and did I miss my the ability to get that item, or am I not? Have I not hit it yet? I forget. Thor forgets about that particular item. I think I have to go up the ladder and do stuff. So give me a moment. Gotta make sure I grab that item. That should be a weapon. Let's see.
O tarnished, why have thee betrayed? You wanted to collaborate with such disgusting, vile being. You hath became my warrior, and yet you have betrayed me. I shall
why is
forgive
that?
You tarnished. You shall be forgiven, and you will become my sword and shield once more.
Wasn't that donated
We interrupt our program
forever
to
ago?
bring you this important message. I love you. Now back to our show.
Oh, thank you, Chad. I love you too. Okay, I am being incredibly stupid, aren't I? How to get there? And I take around. Go down the ladder to the back. Okay, should be a window that I'm being stupid and not noticing. Oh. Yeah. The one windowed area that doesn't have bars in it. Haha. Makes perfect sense. My apologies for my brain not braining too well. The Nox Flowing Hammer. This is the weapon that the Nox monks were using. Mace shaped like a suspended metal droplet wielded by monks of the Eternal City. Forged from liquid metal from a silver tear, it is thoroughly tempered until hardened. Unique skill, Flowing Form. Temporarily transforms armaments into liquid form. Swing the armament like a whip to strike the surroundings before slamming its teardrop shape down. Normally works like a mace, and then Flowing Form. Big Swing. I like that one more than the sickle. Yeah, sorry about being blind and dumb sometimes, chat. It's a curse. Ba-da-da-da-da. Uh-oh. What are you turning into? A man with a shield and a spear. Shield's not working too well against the hammer. More celestial dew. Uh-oh. Hey, that's a big one. Don't think I haven't chopped down trolls before, though. Kneel. Slime should all transform into Radon. Yeah, that would be horrifying. That's essentially what they were trying to make them do. Was to make them stable enough that they could transform into anything and mimic the power of whatever they transform into. You could consider these ones that are transforming into people and trolls and stuff as, like, early test variations of the slimes. Because, again, their whole thing was they were trying to forge their own lord out of it. So they wanted the slimes to be stable enough in the first place to turn into all this other stuff and all these other forms and mimic as many things as possible. And then once they seemed good enough, that's when they would have been like, all right, now you're going to become Marika or Godfrey or Radagon, Radon, or what have you, you know? Now, as for why all those really dangerous and, you know, well-created mimic tiers are here for, it's to protect this. The Fingerslayer Blade. Key item. The hidden treasure of the eternal city of Nokron, a blade said to have been born of a corpse. This blood-drenched fetish is proof of the high treason committed by the Eternal City and symbolizes its downfall. Cannot be wielded by those without a fate, but is said to be able to harm the Greater Will and its vassals. So, this is the treason that the Eternal City of Nokron committed. They crafted a blade from a corpse capable of killing the two fingers, the vassals of the Greater Will. And it's even called a Finger Slayer blade because it has a proof of concept. They used it to actually kill some fingers. And that's the high treason that the Eternal Cities of Nokron and Uxtella committed. As for the Finger Slayer blade itself, if you look closely at it, you can see that it has kind of a spinal cord running up it through the very center of it. So that is likely what the part of the corpse they used to create the blade is. And we're back here. And that, my dear friends, is the item that Ronnie sent us for. Is that Finger Slayer blade. Now then, my question is, do I want to do the next thing or not? I guess I will. Why not? Going back to playing Genshin Impact? That ain't happening. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week, not ever. Oh yeah. Turn my torch on. Golden Rune 6. Hiya! Again, remember, these are members of the now-defunct Band of the Hawk. Defunct because Kentaro Miura passed away. Who were sent down here probably to search specifically for that Finger Slayer blade that I found. They never found it. It was hidden by the people of Nox well enough that I'm the first one to find it in however long it's been. Centuries? Decades? Millennia, possibly, even? We only found it because we're determined. Smithing Stone 4. Golden Centipede. Golden Centipede. There he is! Remember, Golden Centipedes only show up around those that are or areas that are kind of religious. They're showing up because of this guy. Hand over the Twin Armor set. No. This is Dee's brother. Also D. Only this one is called a Devon instead of Darien. If we take a look at the twin set one more time, the two known as D are inseparable twins. They are of two bodies and two minds, but one single soul. Not once do they stand together. Not one word do they speak to one another. Perhaps this armor longs to find its way to the other D. So, that's the important thing. Two bodies, two minds, but one single soul. Which means that, despite the fact that the other D has died, his will will live on in his twin. Hence why this armor wants to find its way to the other D so badly, to help impart that will. Who could have guessed the blade was at the giant, under the giant in the center of the city? Well, you saw all those mimics of people and that troll and stuff like that that were there. Maybe those are the remnants of people that tried to make their way to the center of the city and failed. I think I'll hit these things with an anchor. Let's get the boys in here. Let's go, boys. We got a gargoyle to slay. Dude, why is my timing off on dodging so much today? That poison breath killed the poor Great Shield soldiers real easily. So yeah, remember that gargoyle we fought in Caelid? This thing fights the exact same, only it also breathes poison. And the breathing poison thing is a big pain in the ass. Oopsie. Yeah, this is not the best fight to let those Great Shield soldiers show themselves off. Because that poison breath just kills them. Normally, they're very tanky and hard to kill. I wonder. Will the boys work? Let's bring out the Skelly boys. Fuck you, sir. Undead are immune to poison, right? So they should be fine. Let's see. Nope, still deals damage. Stupid poison breath attack. Okay, are you ready for the fight to really begin? Time for the fight to really begin. By which I mean, there's a second gargoyle. What? During my roll? Hit me during my roll? How'd you do that? Cheater. Twin Blade Gargoyle is a lot more annoying, too. Oh, look, they're both spreading poison everywhere. Isn't that fun that I can't hit them because of this? Double bosses are so great. They're not terribly designed at all. Big swing. One down. Oh. That delay. The axe is the roll catch weapon. Nope. Oh, come on. Thor hit roll button. Fall. I'm gonna die. Fall, damn you! How many jumping attacks can you take? Thank you, jeez. Uh-oh. Not the twin blade. Do you think that actually hit me? Hold on. I don't think that one actually hit me. Uh-oh. Not the twin. Let me see that. Hey, let's take a look together. I'm gonna go with no on that. Okay, then. I'm gonna go with no on that hitting me. That's a little fucked, game. I'm a little fucked there. I love pressing roll and not rolling. It's my favorite thing in the world. Thank you every time it happens, game. It's the best, you see. Oh, shoot. The delay. Stop getting hit by that delay every time, you freaking idiot! Alright, the second one comes right after this hit. Oh! Boy, did it come, too. Oh, I'm fucked. What a fun boss. What an incredibly fun boss. Multi-bosses are always enjoyable. It's always fun to be fighting an enemy and then have another enemy smack you in the back and stagger you, and then the enemy in front of you smack you and stagger you, and the enemy behind you smack you and stagger you, and you die. Enjoyable every time. Please keep adding double bosses to Souls games. They're not terrible design or anything. Okay. Yes, thank you for pulling that poleaxe out. It's a much less annoying weapon than the sword. Well, unless you do that attack. That attack is more annoying. Hi, Multipeton. We're fighting one of the terrible bosses. Once more, I got hit by the delayed axe swing. Wish I'd stop doing that. No, 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 no. You stay away from me, Mr. Twinblade. I want to deal with Mr. First enemy that's below half health. Cool. Will you It's really, really enjoyable to not be allowed to ever attack and to not feel like you're actually fighting the boss. Alright, kill me. We'll fight again. Alright, anchor gets put away. No fun allowed. I don't know why they keep putting these garbage fucking bosses in the game. They've never been good. ONS wasn't good. These guys aren't good. It's a terrible fight every time. It's just not fun. Come on over. I'll give you all the time you need, sweetie. Any day now. Come on, honey. There you go. Why's he gotta poop out poison? Because they certainly need it. There being 2 of them certainly wasn't enough. They also have to spit out poison that deals constant damage to you and covers each other. Ah, fun. Poison. Poison. The entire arena next to the one I'm trying to kill is just... I can't go there. It's a no-go zone with all that poison. Stop with the poison! Stop with the poison already! Nice input read. Imagine they didn't allow summons here. They basically don't allow summons here because of the poison. When they spit that poison out, your summons die. I mean, you can summon another player in, but that's about it. You summon a regular summon in, it will get melted by the poison that it spits out in seconds. Even the things that are immune to poison, the undead summons, get killed by it. Because they're immune to the poison status effect, but not to the damage that the poison does to them. Wow, I didn't know he could follow up with that. That's on me. That one at least is on me. If this was just 2 bosses back to back, one gargoyle then the other after the first one's dead, this fight would be perfectly fine. The instant that it is 2 at the same time, it is terrible. And whoever designed it should be fired. They should not have a job. They should die on the streets, poor and miserable. That's how salty double boss fights make me. Roll, you son of a bitch! I hit the button! I hit the button way before he swung that thing. That one was too early. Here comes the other one. The speedrun for this fight is all about making sure that the first one, and always has been, about making sure the first one dies before the second one finishes spawning. Because the second there's 2 of them, the fight becomes awful. As you can see. It just didn't roll. I'm not even sure why, to be honest. It just actually didn't roll. Oh, this fight is just so bad. The second gargoyle is in there. Man, I'll fight 10 gargoyles in a row as long as they're not 2 of them at the same time. And it would be a better boss than this. Knock him out of it. Oh, he got it off for half a second, so the whole thing got off. No! Alright, just one-on-one now. Thank goodness. As long as I don't choke, we've got this. Sir, if you would kindly swap to your other weapon that doesn't have undodgeable moves, that'd be cool. Oh, thank you. Big slam. I win! How did that miss? Shouldn't have said I win yet. After all, twin blades are a little scary. Oh, never mind. Gargoyle's greatsword. Gargoyle's twin blade. We got their weapons. A bronze greatsword wielded by the valiant gargoyles. Goyles? Okay. Just like the wielder, the missing parts have been mended with corpse wax, a patchwork of champions. Skill vacuum slice. Lost skill of ancient heroes. Hold the armament aloft to surround it with a shearing vacuum, then launch it forward as a blade-like projectile. And then the gargoyle twin blades. Down here somewhere. Somewhere. Oh, there we go. Literally below my katana. Bronze twin blade wielded by the valiant gargoyles. Just like the wielder, the missing parts have been mended with corpse wax. And reminder, chat, it's not like I'm weak. We're level 228 and enemies still two-shot us. That being said, it's not like I put a whole lot of points into Vigor. I just set it at 30 and was like, that's enough. I think we might wait on going in that coffin. We might save that for a little bit later. But that was our journey here into Nokron. We got everything out of it that we can get out of Nokron at the moment. The big thing, of course, being the Finger Slayer Blade, which is what Ronnie had asked us to find, the treasure of Nokron. Now then. My choices of where to go next. I could go to the Volcano Manor. I could go to the Altus Plateau. Or I could go down that coffin, but I think I want to save the coffin for a little bit later.